Thank goodness. Sorry about that. It's a bit annoying. Got interrupted. Okay. So I noticed quite a few people logged on just then. Just been having a few technical difficulties, but I'll try and move this thing along without interruption. So this is the truth about his feelings picker card. So you choose a number, 1 or 2. Actually, I've got a few piles here, so you can choose. This one's just a clarifying pile, and these 2 are the piles I'm going to use. Okay. So hopefully 3rd time lucky. But choose a pile anyway. One, 2. So 1 is the purple pile and 2 is the red pile. That's if I can get any viewers this time, because I think I've done something wrong when I've set it up. So not everyone's going to get the notification, but they might do eventually. What I think I'll do though is set it up again so that people can actually join in, because I can see I've got 3 viewers, but there's not. Oh, here we go. Oh, hello, good morning. Hi, Jason. Hi. Hi, Ashley. Sorry about that. I know you've tried a few times to log on, but I've been interrupted and I've had a few technical difficulties, but because I'm not used to this live function. I haven't done it before. Okay, so and now everybody's getting the message, which is good, because I wasn't sure. I had to change some things. But anyway, this is the first pile and this is the second pile. And this is the pile I'm going to use for the clarification, which is the purple pile. Hi, Irreplaceable. How are you? Sorry about that before. I know you're all logged on, but I was having difficulties. I was being interrupted and I couldn't work out how to get my little computer going again. Okay. How did I learn the skill? I don't know. Just many years of playing with the cards. That's how you learn it. You just pick them up and you lay a spread and you think about the spread and how it affects you, and if you do that enough, you start to learn how to read the cards. So I'm going to ask the truth about his feelings. Pick a card. What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? So this is pile 1. Just email me anytime you're replaceable. See, I was practicing my placement of all the cards so that you could see them clearly. Okay. So I get the strong impression from this deck that this is a third-party situation. That's what shows up clearly. But this is a person that was on top of the world at one stage and then fell off his perch. So he feels like he's lost everything in life. That's the feeling he gives me, because it feels like to me that his whole existence has been destabilized. I feel that he's been quite upset, actually, over you because he feels like he's ruined everything in life. He's feeling really emotional, but also I feel that you've been emotional as well. Like, I think you're going through ups and downs, actually. So you'll be feeling very, very loving towards this person. And then you'll center yourself and you'll decide that maybe, you should ground those emotions and think about the person you're dealing with, because it shows very clearly that it could have been a third party situation. And this is what has led you into a type of confusion, emotional confusion, because I feel the person that you had in front of you was really, really nice, very nice, and really sweet as well. I feel that you kind of got the boyish side to your person. That's a strong impression I get. And it was really appealing because I feel there's like a sense of fun in you, and you really like somebody who's very gentle. That's a strong impression I get. And for there to be a third party situation and potentially not know about it or have a thought about it and not be quite sure about it really threw you. Yes, it's between pile one and pile two. I'm doing one at the moment. This is pile one, and this is pile two. So I'm getting the impression here that he's feeling really deflated, but things are getting easier for him. Funnily enough, he's decided to feel the heartache, to feel the loss, to feel this destabilization. Because I feel like there's some type of influence here. It's like a stronger figure around him, a very strong figure, maybe like a mother figure or a father figure who surround him. And I just get the impression that he's feeling very hurt, but he's trying to remain positive. That's a strong impression I get. Because, funnily enough, he feels the separation between you. He's trying to work something out in his mind about what he can do about getting himself into a better frame of mind, first of all, and into a better situation. I feel he's been working very, very hard, actually. But again, there's this presence in his world. There's this overbearing presence. It's like he's got to get himself out of some difficulties and he's not doing that. And I feel his destabilization has a lot to do with the fact that he's a traveler or a potential traveler. And so it just keeps him buoyant all the time. Like he never feels comfortable in the one place. That's what it shows very clearly. And he's trying to work through his difficulties as best he can. But also, I feel in these cards that there's some type of substance abuse as well, where he's trying to work through those issues, but he's never quite getting there. And it shows it can bring out his aggression, but he seems to be conquering those challenges from the point of view he's looking at his challenges straight now. You know, before there was a possibility he wasn't feeling much at all, but he's actually feeling emotions now because he comes up as a person that, you know, has to face facts about his situation. He feels like he can succeed at the moment, but his situation is very dire. So he's looking forward to some successful tidings, I feel, and really focusing on it because his world is almost in disarray in these cards. I actually feel he doesn't actually know whether you'll accept him. It's like he has all these ideas for success, but then he thinks to himself, oh, I'm not in the best situation. Um, we're separated just presently. Things have happened. You know, there's been a lot of water that's gone under the bridge. How can I retrieve any of this? And then he thinks about the challenges he has in his life. And I feel his biggest challenge has been the substance abuse problem, if he has one, his destabilization, and his inability to remove himself from people that aren't great for him in his life. Because I see strongly that he knows what the solution is. He knows how he can find success with you in particular, but he's not sure down the line whether you'll take him back because of all the struggles that he has in his life. Plus, there's somebody here who always wants to control him as well. And he feels that you're strong against this person that wants to control him. It's a woman. And I feel that's why he's upset because he looks upon you as very gentle, very loyal, very sweet. Somebody that wants to hand him something that he's not sure he can accept. Because in some respect, he doesn't feel he's the right person for you because of his situation and what's gone on. But in his mind, you make him a much better person. That's what it says very clearly to me. So he is upset. He has been upset because he kind of thinks how you make his life better. And he has all these plans for success. even in this third party situation dynamic, you know, it could be addictions, it could be a mother and father figure, it could be an ex, but I really get the impression it's like a family type connection. He has these responsibilities that are weighing heavily on him. That's what it says very clearly. And it's making him sad because he's not in a position to take advantage of somebody he loves very much. But also there's somebody there who threatens him, and he's afraid that if he brings you into his life, then you'll have to deal with this person who is quite domineering and aggressive, and somebody he ducks and weaves and tries to avoid, but somebody he thinks that maybe he can't protect you from. So it leaves him very upset. He's just hoping he can retrieve a lot of things in his life because everything seems to have gone wrong. He's not sure whether there can be a reconciliation, but he's hoping there can be into the future. He's just, at the moment, he's just making plans or trying to work out the scheme so that you can reconcile and have love together. But he's just not sure if it's possible because of this third party situation, which has complicated the whole relationship between you. Okay, so that was pile 1. Now do pile 2. Thanks for showing up, everyone. I had a few false starts tonight. So this is deck 2. What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? What is the truth of his feelings towards my channel viewer? So he's been really upset because he's in suspension over your love relationship. I think he's just come to a realization that he loves you deeply, deeply in love with you. Ooh. And he's even upturned a third-party situation for you. So this is serious. He's just broken up with someone who could have complicated your connection. So I get the strong impression here that he's just realized he's deeply in love with you. He's been really feeling emotions, like deep emotions for you, and so have you. I feel that you're at a good point just now, right now, because I feel you've gone through the same thing as him even today. Like you've been really feeling romantic and loving towards one another, and you may not realize that he felt the same way back, but he does. Like it's like you mutually felt very, it's like a sexual desire towards one another, like a deep feeling of love towards one another today, a combination of things. But I think he's come to some type of realization that your twin flames or soulmate, something like that. But he knows you're in separation. It's like he realized that he loved you just presently or today. I feel it was today. And he's thinking about your separation, but he's thinking about how that separation has benefited his emotions for you. Because as soon as he realized that he's still in love with you, his day improved. He was really happy today. I wouldn't be surprised if he saw you today, actually, because that's what it shows in these cards. He must be like a bad boy in some respect because you've got the devil card here. But I feel like he's putting a lid on it. Because he realizes he's in love with someone, it's really changed his perspective. Because I get the strong impression here that you're quite an independent person. And I feel that you've been feeling emotional just in the recent past. Because it shows me that you kind of realize that your independence meant that your sense of independence meant that you were missing out on your one true love. But because you're connected on a spiritual plane, he's picked up on those emotions. And so, whatever you were feeling melted his heart because I feel he can be quite a cold character. Like somebody who has like an internal rage about them. Like sometimes he could really steam. Maybe you feel that because he has a good way of um, channeling that energy. So sometimes he must come across as very, very, very strong. And it scares you a little, but you like it. It's like you admire his strength, but you feel the rage in this person. And because there's a lot of water elements here, I feel it's a rage that he controls around you in particular. But it's more, I get the impression this guy is much more of a energy manipulator or you'd hear it from his mouth and you'd feel it from his person, but he's not exactly a physical person, you know, not really. So I get the impression here that his rage is bubbling to the surface because he can feel in his spirit that you're feeling hurt. And he doesn't like that feeling. It makes him feel very protective of you. So he's angry because he feels that you've been hurt, or he's heard you've been hurt, or he can see that you've been hurt by your body language, and he's feeling angry, he's feeling protective. But it's like you recovered quickly. I can see here that you realize that you are deeply in love, but you hold on to your defense mechanism in this deck. So you really are trying to hold it in. But he's clever because he matches your mood, but he transmutes it differently. So he's taken this, like your apparent feeling of being upset or your apparent look of being upset as an opportunity to love upon you, to care for you, to defend you, to use his rage as a weapon. That's the strong impression I get. So he's channeling his energy just presently because he's in love with you, but in a very good way. I feel he wants to offer you something. I feel he's growing in loyalty towards you. Sort of like shows that in the past there's been a separation and no type of possibility between you because he rejected the connection between you in some respect. But then he's recovered from it and he's become more protective. But he's also, in some respect, in suspension as well, because I feel that he's dealing with issues given he has this bad boy side. So he could have some turmoil in his life that he has to figure out, but it's showing very clearly that he's finding his clarity. Like he still hopes that something good can happen from your relationship. So it shows that he's a bit of a guy that's stuck in his emotions. But this rage that is bubbling, it says, will lead to success for you both because it's going to force him to push out. And he's given up a third party situation for you, which is significant because he used to be a big heartbreaker. Something's changed in his attitude, in his demeanor, simply because he's realized that he's deeply in love with you. I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen this guy around just recently because it shows he's watching you closely. And if he's not watching you in a physical sense, he's finding out what you're up to. It doesn't give me a weird feeling though. It gives me like somebody who's very caring, extremely caring, and wants to be the best they can be for you. And like a guy that was in a third party situation, I can't imagine anybody giving that up so easily. So this is amazing. He's willing to change for you. But something's going on here. There needs to be a turn around in his circumstances because he's a bit stuck. But it shows it's a possibility, like into the future, because he's getting motivated. So I really feel that he broke someone's heart and you saw that person's heartbreak, that third party. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw it. Maybe you didn't realize it was that person, but I feel that you've recognized it, or you've been in a vicinity where you've been able to see it, something like that. So I'll just have a look. I'll just try and clarify this. How does this man feel towards my channel viewer? How does this man feel towards my channel viewer? Resurrection, comeback, rebirth, renewal. So something's been knocked down in his life, definitely, and he wants to resurrect everything in his life. He wants to return to you. I'll just have a look to see what the book says about this card. '98. You are about to make a comeback after a difficult time. Finally, now you have the strength to make the return to the life you have longed for. It is time to begin again and feel the shimmering possibilities all about you. The soul contracts have been recreated. You have been freed, and there will now come a realization that the wholeness and the beauty you have so long searched for have been inside you all along. This now is your purpose, to preserve the beauty you have discovered, to keep the joy of the spirit alive. So who's that by? Lucy Cavendish. Right. So he definitely wants to resurrect this relationship, as we've seen. So I feel he's got some way to go until he can take flight, or you can take flight, but it shows promise. And I really like this, the feeling from these cards that he feels ultra protective towards you. But ultimately, this guy feels good towards you, like really good. I just like the way that he's breaking up relationships so that he can be faithful to you. And that's not necessarily his modus operandi or whatever. It's not really him. It's not something that he does. He breaks hearts all over the place usually, but because you've been upset or he feels you've been upset, he's willing to just improve his circumstances and improve himself so that he can have the lady or the gentleman that he wants. So it looks like if you chose deck 2, that things are looking up for you. He's still got some, there's the bad boy issues, the rage, but he's keeping a lid on it. His healing shows strong healing element. And that ultimately he will break free of whatever's binding him, and he will get the love that he wants, and he will get the destiny that he wants. And the destiny that he ultimately wants is a life with you, is a relationship with you. So I get this strong impression from these cards that you're the one that has set his soul free, because he was bound. His soul feels bound or felt bound. But it's like you've freed him in these cards. So it's quite a positive reading. I feel that if you wanted to indulge in your feelings for him, you could, and you could have that faith. It will take him, it will take some time for him to come round because he's still in suspension. But I feel if this is a soul plane relationship and it's just on an emotional level, then you have every right to indulge in it because he feels the same way for you as you do about him. Okay, everyone, that was deck 2. If this reading resonates, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you would like a personal, I don't think my details are in the description box yet, but they will be. I'll just pull a card for everyone. Changing consciousness, awareness, extrasensory perception. So it looks like you have a guardian angel helping protect you and your love life. And you must feel very intuitive around this time. And it shows in the cards that you're feeling emotional. So you're picking up on a lot of different energies. That's what it says very clearly to me. But also you're getting out of a time of darkness, and that's very positive. Because it shows that you are being protected by somewhat of an angel, and you will most likely, your depressed mood or whatever it is you've been suffering will most likely lift from here on in. So that's very positive. Okay, everyone, that was my attempt at a live reading. Try it again some other time. Thanks very much for chatting. I'll see you next time.